Hello, how are you doing? Right, so in the last section we made the barrel of the railgun part. Now we need to make it look like it's functional. You see, the whole point of this is we've got the generators, the cables, the housings, some sort of heat sinks. Gonna have fins and fans and stuff. But we need to kind of make this shooty. That's what you'd say if you were like, playing Warhammer and using orcs anyway. So let's have a look and see if there's any of our parts that we can use here that are going to be appropriate. And lo and behold, this is. Funny that, I only just saw it and I thought to myself, yeah, that would do, we'll have one of them. Anything else in here we can use at the minute? I'm going to want something kind of down the side. I think this, yeah, this definitely, like that. Put one of those over. What else can we have? Don't need that, that's not going to be any use to me. Could do with a couple of bolt ends that are kind of going to hold things for maintenance purposes. So if I go over here, I can probably take this object here. You see, these are things that are just saving us time. That's why I do this. Okay, I'm going to make sure these three are added to our gun, which is going to be over here. So I'm just going to create a new layer for it. This is going to be our gun barrel. So just rename gun barrel. Like so. And now I'm going to take these parts and just move them down here so that I've got them to work with slightly easier. Okay, it's going to make stuff so much easier for us. Right. Now I want to go to my layers tool and I'm going to basically hide everything. So a lot of stuff isn't even here to hide, to be honest, because I didn't bother loading up the robot file because it does slow the scene down quite a lot. Okay, let's bring this over to here. There we go. Just zoom in on it. It's a nice little bolt, that. So I'm just going to turn it on its side. Notice it's got an X-form reset on at the moment. Angle snap, 90 degrees. Do another quick X-form reset. I'll just reset all its axis and everything. Okay, you'll notice the pivot points at the very bottom. For this one, the pivot's at the top. So let's move the pivot to the bottom. Also auto smooths on. Let's just collapse that. There we go. So this gives us some interesting shapes that we're definitely going to enjoy using. Let's have a look at the poly count in this. Pretty low actually. And I did obviously do a bit of chamfering and stuff. It's been a while since I've used it, so let me just check the makeup of the model. Okay, these parts here, I would prefer to, hello orthographic, just mesh smooth separately of that part. The only problem is if I do, it's going to impinge on that, so what I should do is just detach it, like so. Some of these parts it's important to have a good detailed object on. Now I'm just going to go to my turbo smooth again. Oh, I had the wrong part. Silly old me. Silly old me. Turbo smooth. There we go. Did I? Oh, I bet I did, didn't I? Let's have a look. No, I didn't. Good. I thought I'd just detach that as a part. And then I was going to feel very silly. Okay, let's hide unselected for the moment. Before I do that, let's just hide unselected anyway. I just want to see what's kind of going on in here as much as I can. That would explain it. It's a hollow piece, of course. Don't know how I could forget that. Let's just grow it and get rid of this bit, because we don't need it. In fact, we can get rid of that bit as well, because we don't need it. Okay, next. Mesh Smooth isn't going to like that piece, by the way. See what I mean? It automatically tries to close it and fill it in, but we need the smoothness that we're going to get from the top here. So take this part off and detach it. That way it's out of the way. I can just work on this part instead, see? And now if I go to Turbo Smooth, there, that's a little bit better. Okay, and we can separate it as well by all sorts of funky things if we need to. What I'm going to do is go around this edge though and protect the shape. Just do what I can with it. Okay, so show end result, swift loop, good fun swift loop. Take this central polygon as well. Back here. Just going to inset this a little so that it's out of the way. Just going to turn off show end result. Now I can't inset this piece very well, as you can see, because it's just going to cause issues, so I'm just going to detach it. Wait patiently. There you go. Now that's a separate object to this one. Don't want turbo smooth on this one, so delete it off. Do on this one. Just allows me to put some more effort into the shape than I would otherwise make. I just want to make sure really that this part comes out looking as smooth as possible. Probably not the best idea in the world to do this using that viewport. That's a lot better actually. Okay, convert to editable polygon. Lots of polys. Next, go under here, where this part is. Just going to delete it in fact, I'm not even going to use it. Because then I can reattach this one. It's more like a facade. In fact, I don't even want that piece, but I am going to have to chomp up that part there, look. Because that ain't any good. However, I'll turn it to my advantage. It's the bridge tool. And over here. You see, when life gives you lemons, as it said in the video game, make combustible lemons. I fully agree with that sentiment. Then burn their houses down with lemons. Okay, to there. There we go. Check that shape. You see, I don't like that misshape there. It's a little bit wonkety. Let's just adjust it. You can make it wider using a non-uniform scale. There we go. Like that. And now I'm going to just bridge this. There and there. There and there. There we go. That wasn't too shabbed. Now if I just have I done hide unselected? Haven't I? Unhide all. Do I want to unhide layers as well? No. Right, so we'll see this kind of pinpoint that's being shoved through the side of it. Don't really want that, don't really care about this bit. This is part of what made it a piston end, and to be honest I don't need that, so just move this out of the way, just away from it. Take that, delete it. What I'm going to do though is find some use for this bolt, I suppose. So if I go over to my graphite modelling tools, go to object paint, and the object to be painted in the scene, so I'm just going to pick my bolt, very useful. And I can paint on, show you the options here, the grid selected objects we'll see, and I'll use selected objects. Then you just use the paintbrush and just go bam, like that. See? Now if that seems a little bit big, because it is, we can also scale it, which is cool. So let's say I'm going to scale it to an even 60% down the line here. And now if I go in here and just go on this edge there and there, then turn it and do it again. Life, eh? Isn't it amazing? And now all I have to do is just attach them. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is put this piece on this piece and scale it a little bit. Obviously not there, because this needs to be a bit smaller. So let's just make it a bit smaller. So it's kind of on the edge here like that. Okay, and what we're doing is we're creating these kind of magnet arrays here. Because I don't claim to know how a railgun works. I'm not one of those clever boffin types. However, I have a suspicion that in order to move a large piece of metal, you're probably looking at having some extremely heavy electromagnets. And whilst you may not actually have them in the barrel of the gun, for sci-fi purposes, it makes as good a place as any. We don't want it to go off plane. Let's take it on one axis, please. There we go. So now we have these two. Just there. And what I want to do is duplicate them in a logical manner along the barrel. So take a shift, go there, and just get their positioning where I wanted. What I'm doing is just trying to evenly space them as much as I can. The thing is, you see, because I've gone for the whole kind of, I'll do it by eye approach, which works sometimes, I have to be careful that I don't make it look a bit ass. Because we will pick up very, very easily on something like that. Our eyes are designed to pick out inconsistencies. It's the way it goes. One more here. Do it about there. Now I'm going to go along here and just select them all. Just use the rotate button with angle snap on. Do 180 degrees. The thing about rotating them is, you see, I haven't inverted the normals. I could do a mirror, but you don't really need to. Now you'll notice that if I go into my perspective view at this point, they're kind of hanging over the edge, which is nice, don't get me wrong. However, these things shouldn't be hanging over the edge. So now it's time to cure it of that problem. Come back here. Come on. Hurry up and save. That's it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to freeze this object. Just go over here. So freezing will mean that I don't actually move this part at all. And I can also display it as a box if I need to. And hello, tele. Should probably have hidden that first. That was actually a phone call asking me to make a cup of coffee, would you believe? So let's display it as box. No, hang on, not display it as box, but display it as see-through. Being very silly. And then freeze it. And now I can basically work on moving these parts into the weapon. I'm going to get the right parts first, perspective zoom. Get a 3. Because obviously with this being tapered, as it is, just need to move them in carefully, just there a little bit over the lip. Like this. And once we're done, I'm going to call this end to a part to an end and look at the internal mechanism. Well, the inside of the barrel mechanism. It doesn't really have an internal mechanism. Then we're going to do some detailing. Then we're going to do some more detailing. Then we're going to do some more detailing. And after that we might do a bit of detailing. Quite funny, you see, the whole point of hard surface modelling is that we're showing you how to build a complex shape. Then we're showing you how to hide it with other complex shapes. These two, no, delete, delete. Got to be rational, and that isn't. We can't have it overlapping any other part where it's going to look silly. I see this all the time when I'm critiquing people's work and when I'm doing mentoring and stuff. You've got to be just as harsh on yourself as you would be with anybody else. Don't skimp. I've seen that before, I've done it myself. You get to near the end of a project, which I'm not, incidentally, at the moment, and then you kind of try and rush it a bit. So I think I'll unfreeze all. I think displaying this as see-throughs probably not the best idea. I want to be able to push these in. Yeah, so you rush through the project. You don't mean to, obviously, but you kind of rush through the project. And then parts of it are incorrect, and you look back at it later and you realise that it's going to be even harder to repair the parts, and maybe you should fling the project, or you even make the mistake of putting it, you know, on your show reel perhaps, or whatever. Happens all too easily. Yes, I could have used an array. Yes, it would have been a faff on. No, I didn't want to. These two should not be here. That one can. Notice how it gives it these kind of crocodile teeth. Just a nice array of magnets. How do they work? There we go. That one. I'm actually quite looking forward to a coffee myself in a minute. I have this new Kenko blend. I've got this coffee machine that's just started leaking, and it's maddening. It was a really good coffee machine that used to make insanely strong coffee, and I think I'm going to have to throw it away. Fortunately, I didn't pay full price for it. It was one that I found second hand, but it's not the point, is it? You want coffee, man, you want coffee. Nearly done. I think there's a kitten under my desk. There we go. I have kittens under my desk in a almost continual folder. Bed bath JPEG. That can only mean that 3D Palace's erstwhile Alex Blue is working on an architecture set. You see, he is considerably better at architecture than I am, which is impressive because I only started mentoring him less than 6 months ago, and this guy has moxie, a natural affinity and skill, which is cool. I mean, he's got a parent who's an architect. Yeah, you can see them all being added to my Dropbox, and I shall have a look at them whilst I'm drinking coffee. And if I remember, I shall be sure to tell you guys how he's doing. I'm very proud of Alex's progress. That one can go, and that one can go. And probably these two as well. There we go. Right, so that's 20 minutes of adding in some detail. Hang on. No, we'll delete those. I'm just going to move this one across to about there. Spend some more time lining them up. You want them to be even as you can. There we go. In the next part, I'm going to continue adding in detail, and we're going to get some funky details going. So until then, I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye for now.